My original injury was from a fall straight down. In a supermarket, there was some vegetable on the ground or something. And it was an immediate pain, and it just didn't go away. And I had, at that time, many years ago, the operation for the meniscus, and it didn't seem to help. I thought I was stuck with this pain forever. It interfered with my walking. It interfered with any idea of running. The pain was variable. There were times when there was no pain, but then it would start up on each side of the knee, and it would interfere with my walking, and the pain could be extremely excruciating to the point where I would have to stay in bed. So it was variable, but it never left. It interferes with everything. It interferes with your family life. It interferes with any kind of activity you want to share with people. And it really is something that I don't. It was a kind of pain where I would be sitting in a chair for a long time, say for a movie, and when I would try to get up, I could hardly balance to walk out of the theater. So it really does seem that I was not willing to dedicate the time that was necessary to really get rid of the pain, and also without 100% assurance that that would indeed succeed. So I decided to just put up with it and used some topical pain relief. A knee replacement was suggested, but it seemed like a major event, both in terms of the operation and the recovery period, and I was not at liberty to. A friend and neighbor is a doctor with the hospital system here, an anesthesiologist, and he recommended it. When it seemed like there was a possibility of doing something about it, I wanted to invest. They listened. They told me all the options that were available. They ordered the tests that were necessary, which were fine, and they kind of helped me walk through. They're very cordial, very human, very kind. Well, I was apprehensive at first, but the way they explain things, it is logical. The treatment was a logical one to try, and it seemed as though there could be a relief from pain quite quickly. The way that it developed was that we did the MRI, we did the X-rays, and based on those results, they did a denervation and an injection of the stem cells. And the result was so immediate and so strong, I would say, that I felt as though a miracle had happened. I was on the table, they did all the procedures, and when I hopped off the table, I literally hopped off. I was without pain for the. It was very emotional. When you get used to the pain, it's hard to remember a time when you were not in pain. And the result was so wonderful that I was just in happiness. It was such an immediate relief that it's hard to even describe. The doctors here are very empathetic. They're very kind and caring. They remember you. They address the problems and address them in detail, patiently. It's hard to find a doctor who has enough time to speak with you, who has enough time to explain everything that's going on, what your possibilities are. And these doctors have been amazing. I'm able to walk without pain. That is number one. I'm able to really start exercising. I exercise gently because I'd rather not do something that is very strenuous and then go back to square one. But I think that everything is possible, and it's slowly developing. It has changed my life. Yes, I'm much more optimistic. I'm much nicer to be with. And yes, it has made life much more enjoyable. I have to say it was like a miracle. It was very much like a miracle. I can't use other words.